Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Chloe Feng. Our top stories tonight. Hong Kong's Civic Party bids farewell after 16 years, following a vote by its members. The Bond Festival was back on Cheung Chau after a 3-year COVID pause. And local experts warn about rise of other respiratory illnesses despite the current COVID wave peaking in the city. One of Hong Kong's biggest democratic parties, Civic Party, was dissolved after a vote by its members. Chairperson Alan Leung said the decision was predictable. A total of 31 members of the Civic Party attended the extraordinary general meeting this afternoon, after which 30 members voted to disband the party. One abstained.
決議咧係獲得30位支持，1位棄權嘅。
Alan Leung, one of the founding members and the current chairperson, announced the passing of the resolution to dissolve the party, citing the world is ever-changing.
When we held our annual general meeting last year, the fate of the party was already dictated by the fact that nobody came forward to seek election as the chairman or the executive committee. So without succession, and given the constraint in our financial situation, to voluntarily wind up is really not a surprise.
In a farewell post on Facebook, Leung thanked all like-minded people who joined in their long walk to democracy for different parts of the journey over the past 16 years. Stephen Cha, another founding member, said residents do not have to feel sad.
I would miss our members, but I don't have any sad feeling because I understand coming together or dispersing is a fact of life. We may not have everything, but one thing we must maintain is that is our conscience. We must have conscience. But on the other hand, we can give up everything, but never give up hope.
The party has appointed a liquidator to settle the dissolution. The latest disbandment dealt another blow to the city's already beleaguered democratic opposition. Founded in 2006, the party had been a major democratic force in the financial hub. The party had popular support, representing professionals, and was widely accepted by the middle class. The Bond Scrambling competition made a comeback after 3 years of suspension. It was last held in 2019, and the male and female winners of that event could not defend their titles due to disqualification, Janice Low reports.
The iconic Bund Scramble on Cheung Chau made a comeback last night after a 3-year hiatus. On the stroke of midnight, 12 finalists made their way up the 14-meter high tower to snatch as many buns as they could. Although the tower was loaded with 9,000 buns, there was fierce competition to take the ones on the top, as those are worth 9 points and could make a substantial difference to an individual's tally in the final count. Each bun in the middle section is worth 3 points, while the rest in the lower section carry 1 point each. With only 60 seconds left in the 3-minute competition, the contestants started making their way down from the tower. However, a number of them could not make it to the ground on time and were disqualified, including Jeanette Kong, the 2019 female champion.
Okay.
I don't feel okay, as I wasn't able to land within the time limit, she said. I have to try harder next year. Nine-time winner Jason Kwok could not defend his title either and was disqualified. Kwok pointed out that he was stuck due to the safety clip, a newly added feature this year. But I had tried my best already, he added. Bus driver Cheung Chau was crowned this year's champion with 954 points. His best finish was in second place on previous occasions. I wasn't expecting to win this year. My strategy was to only land safely, the 47-year-old said. With 684 points, Angel Wong was named Queen of Queens as she claimed her third title in Cheung Chau since 2016. I felt so relieved as the competition was very intense, and I was quite stressed out too, Wong said. The six-time winner was asked if she would continue to compete. Wong sidestepped the question, saying that she hopes to train other athletes if possible. The winner of full pockets of lucky buns was Lai Wai-chun. He collected 121 buns in total, the most among his rivals. Janice Low, HKIBC.
A government and pandemic advisor pointed out that even though the current wave of COVID has plateaued, minor waves of infection would still occur. Meanwhile, a pediatrician revealed that the city is considering to import the 15-valent vaccine to provide a stronger protection for children against pneumococcal disease. Janice Low reports.
The government's pandemic advisor revealed that the current wave of COVID should have peaked and plateaued. Speaking on a radio program this morning, Lau Yulong pointed out that the real-time reproductive number for the virus is 1, meaning an infected person could pass the virus to just one person. But it remains unknown how long the plateau would last. Lau believes Hong Kong is in a better position in preventing death and serious cases. But due to the nature of the virus, minor waves of infections will keep occurring. In the same radio program, pediatrician Mike Kwan revealed that the government's scientific committee is considering to import the 15-valent vaccine. This comes as the currently used 13-valent jab seems to be less effective in protecting children from serotype 3, a type of pneumococcal disease. He said that up to 90% of pneumococcal infections were serotype 3. Kwan also pointed out that the recent uptake of respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, among children is unusual, and RSV infections usually occur in winter and early spring.
We postulate is because in the past 3 years, that all the population, we have a very strict social distancing, and also we wear masks. So our children have no chance in contact with the RSV virus.
He urged the citizens to take all required vaccines, wear face masks in crowded places, and maintain proper hygiene. Janice Low, HKIBC.
The Secretary for Development, Bernadette Ling, said that the government will consider offering direct land grant to attract leading tech enterprises to boost the city's innovation and technology development. As the government rolled out a blueprint to develop the city into an innovation and technology hub, Secretary for Development Bernadette Ling said that the city should make a breakthrough approach to achieve the goal. Direct land grant instead of open tendering to attract the leading technology enterprises to the Santin Technopole could be one way forward. Authorities are considering to earmark roughly 300 hectares of land in the area for the purpose. That is equivalent to 17 science parks.
喺香港呢，就唔係新鮮事物嚟嘅。
Lin said the direct grant method is not new and has been adopted before in projects such as the tram terminus and container terminal. She added that the Innovation and Technology Bureau is studying what type of tech enterprises should be covered under such grants, and more details will be released later. In another development, the Urban Renewal Authority is facing a cash crunch due to the large number of redevelopment projects the body has undertaken. Managing Director Wai-Chi Singh said that it's time for the body to make a serious review on its compensation mechanisms.
嗰4、5千億，如果我將佢放喺譬如舉個例明日大嶼。
He said that about $400 billion was used to compensate flat owners affected by the Almaty rate development. And that money could have been used on mega projects such as Tomorrowland Television to support urban renewal. The student union of the Baptist University has disbanded. The school suspended the handover work of the new executive committee 3 days after they took office. Some of the members were barred from participating in the school's governance and have to write a repentance letter. The union expressed regret for not being able to finish the term, but will continue to serve students in other roles. Overseas, Turkey has held its first ever runoff presidential vote after President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his challenger failed to gain majority 2 weeks ago. Many see Erdogan reclaiming another 5-year term in the regional powerhouse nation. Azam Khan reports.
Two opposing visions for Turkey's future are on the ballot as voters return to the polls today for a runoff presidential election. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who has ruled Turkey for 20 years and still commands a large support base, is well positioned to win after falling just short of victory in the first round of voting earlier in the month. He was the top finisher even as the country reels from sky-high inflation and the effects of a devastating earthquake in February, which claimed over 50,000 lives. Erdogan's campaign has focused on rebuilding the affected areas, and the provinces overwhelmingly voted for him in the first round. Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, the leader of Turkey's pro-secular main opposition party and a 6-party alliance, has campaigned on a promise to undo Erdogan's authoritarian tilt. In a bid to woo the ultra-nationalists, he has also vowed to send back millions of refugees if elected, and has dropped any possibility of peace negotiations with Kurdish militants, a reverse from his previous stance toward the Kurd group. The election outcome will dictate the direction of a key geopolitical country, which is a member of NATO as well as the Organization for Economic Cooperation, and also has strong ties with Russia and China. Azam Khan, HKIBC.
Serbia has moved troops to its border after clashes erupted between ethnic Serbs and police in neighboring Kosovo. Dozens were injured as tensions between Kosovo's majority Albanians and minority Serbs reached a flashpoint. Azam Khan reports.
10 people were injured in clashes with police in Kosovo after residents blocked government buildings in the Serb-majority town of Zvecan. They were trying to prevent recently elected officials from entering the premises. Kosovo's Serb minority, which accounts for roughly 5% of the country's 1.8 million people, wanted to govern local municipalities in 4 states, but boycotted local elections last month when they were not allowed to do so, letting ethnic Albanians take office. Police fired tear gas to disperse the crowd. Gunshots were reported. The Albanians feared that if Serbs take control, they would form a mini-state of their own, creating something similar to Republika Srpska in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Rebuking Kosovo for escalating tensions, President of neighboring Serbia, Aleksandar Vučić, has put military forces on alert and ordered troops closer to the border with Kosovo. Vučić, who is battling protests at home in the aftermath of 2 mass shootings earlier this month, which left 18 people dead and 20 injured, blasted the opposition for demanding his resignation. He blamed the opposition for polarizing the country. Thousands came out in support at a rally in the capital Belgrade, where he vowed to protect ethnic Serbs in Kosovo. Azam Khan, HKIBC.
U.S. President Joe Biden said a deal to resolve the government's debt ceiling crisis seemed very close late Friday, even as the deadline for a potentially catastrophic default was pushed back to June the 5th.
With regard to the debt limit, things are looking good, very optimistic. I hope we'll have some clear evidence tonight before the clock strikes 12 that we have a deal, but it's very close, and I'm optimistic.
Despite Biden's optimism on the deal around the corner, Republican negotiator Patrick McHenry said there are still significant challenges to be addressed and wouldn't say if it would take hours or days. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said the government could start running out of money as soon as next Thursday, and the spillover of the default could affect the global economy. And onto the weather now. It'll be mainly fine tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 27 and 32 degrees. Brace for the sweltering heat next week. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That is our main news for Saturday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Chloe Feng. Thanks for watching. Good night.